be live. It looks like the music might be a little loud.
Check.
I'm turning it down a little bit.
Not quite live on my end yet, but we probably will be.
Yeah.
Live.
Okay, we are live. Okay.
Music might be.
Let me know if I should turn the music down a little bit more.
Down a little bit.
If you want to. It seems fine to me.
I'll just set it minus 3 decibels. Should be fine.
Okay. Yeah, and then chat, you can let us know if the music is too soft, too loud, if our voices are too soft, too loud. All of those fun configurations.
Oh my god, I can actually see chat in OBS. This is new.
Oh yeah, because we had to update you. But yes, you can also respond to chat via OBS if you wanted to.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, so yeah, so give about 4 people to gather, and want to learn to make custom card actions. Okay, all right, Isaiah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing a-okay. How are you doing?
I am very tired.
That's fair.
I think this is going to be my default response instead of fine. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to today's stream. It's something that people requested for over a year at this point.
Yeah.
Which is that, hey, how do I make my own card actions? And for the longest time, this was actually kind of hard to do because our code is a mess, and it may be hard to find certain things, right, and get certain things to work. However, more recently, Isaiah's gone in and cleaned up some of the code. And so now it's a little bit more readable, right? If you want to add in. So our goal today, we're probably not going to get through all of it, but the goal today is to first show you where in the code we are processing card actions. We're going to show you a little bit of regex, regular expressions. Don't panic. We're not going to do the regex primer that we did last time that made everybody notice. We're just showing you what a basic card action looks like in the code so that you can have a reference in when you put in a note tag, right? Once we have that done, once you know where to edit the card actions, we will show you how to alias card actions. So what this means is in alias in code, you basically give a different name, same thing, right? So we can alias card actions. So we are going to take a card action, in this case search for, and call it wish. And wish will do the same thing that search for does, right? So in that way, you can sort of retheme the card actions to match the needs of your game. Everyone following me so far?
Give chat a couple seconds.
Sure.
But I'm following, for what that's worth.
Well, that's good, because both of us need to clear up the stream. Yeah. Gonna wait for a response from chat before going through the no response from chat. Is there a delay that bad?
I think a lot of people are just lurking.
Yeah, okay. All right. Asila's following. Thank you, Asila. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna teach you how to alias them. Then we're gonna build a custom card action. We're gonna choose Scry from Magic the Gathering because that's a fairly popular one to ask us for. And yeah. So Asila, the good news is that we're gonna teach you how to make card actions irrespective of summons or like any of the other plugins, right? So even if you're using Core Engine, the method that we will show you, right? If you just have Core Engine. Now, a couple of the ones requested today are specific to summons, right? So maybe for that part, right, like tune in once you have summon. Based on we're gonna go over Kicker. For Magic the Gathering, Kicker is when you spend an extra cost in order to get a card to do an additional ability. We're gonna go over Trample. Trample is really easy. That's why we put, because you can just do it in the damage. Then we're gonna spend probably an hour on Tribute Summons. Tribute Summoning. So this is the Yu-Gi-Oh! It's also called Sacrifice Summon, right? But yeah, the idea that you have creatures on the board and you are basically spending in order to put out a creature that is in your hand. And also we will go over Xyz Summon and Synchro Summon, because those are two variations on Tribute Summon, that they pull the creature from a separate zone called an extra deck, which we will make in CGC and show you the CGC version of the, right? Once again, it won't be exactly the same as in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because we did not implement a Yu-Gi-Oh! System. We implemented a Slay the Spire as like card system, and we're building like Yu-Gi-Oh! Mechanics on top of it, right? So it won't be exact. If you want it to be, feel free to go ahead and edit the code to your needs, right? But yeah, we're gonna go over XYZ and Synchro Summons, and then if you have a bit of time, we're gonna do this. Request is from Frog. We're gonna do quest cards from Hearthstone. We may not have enough time after Synchro Summons, right, to get to quest cards, because quest cards sort of require their own plugin implementation. But the way the quest cards work, play them, and then you have to achieve a thing during a game to get it back, right? So an example of a quest card, Awaken the Makers, right, from Hearthstone, which requires you to summon 6 Death Rattle minions card as a result, which I think could be really cool. So these are the ones that we again, if we have time, there's a couple others, right, that we can get to, but these are the ones we felt the widest amount of sort of knowledge, right, going out. Okay, Jordan's in chat. Hello, Jordan. Okay, Isaiah, does that sound good?
Yes, absolutely. And I think we're about ready to start. So, the first thing that we want to cover is first. Let me.
Isaiah, I just saw a joke. We may not want to be doing the pirate.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So Isaiah, take it away.
Yeah.
So where does the magic happen?
So the magic happens in two places fundamentally. The first is let's say data manager dot is database loaded. That's where we process all the note tags. And if we want to add card actions, it would make sense that we would want to look at process card action note tags. And I want to point out what's happening here. This is a pretty complicated looking function.
Before we do that, Isaiah,
yeah,
where can at home find this?
Sorry, say that again.
Where can folks at home find these functions?
Right. That would be in MythCGC Core Engine.
Cool. So, those of you following at home, if you Notepad, Notepad++, Studio, you can pull up CGC Core Engine, right, and go down, right, and you'll be able to those functions. It may actually be easier to look up the function name. There are some line number discrepancies.
Yeah.
So just Control F and look for process card action note. And then, yeah, Isaiah, feel free to continue.
Yeah, and it should be noted that almost every plugin that has note tags will handle their note tags inside this function called datamanager.isDatabaseLoaded. So even if you don't know, like, even if we didn't call card actions internally, if you control F card actions and found nothing, you would still be able to look at datamanager.isDatabaseLoaded and then look at what's in here and see, hey, this is probably where we handle card actions. So a useful tool for you if you're looking at other people's code. If they've got note tags, always check for data manager is database loaded. That's where you will find where note tags are handled. More specifically, they are handled for us in process card action note tags. So let's take a look at this function. This function looks very complicated, so I'm going to break it down very quickly. I'm going to break it down very simply. So we've got a start note and an end note that are checking for, essentially, do we have card actions? That's the start note. And then do we have card actions? That's the end note. You will notice that is the same syntax that you use to make card actions, where you put everything in between these two note tags. So what we do is we go through all of the note tags and we say, hey, do we find the start note? Do we find this guy? If so, then we set a mode. And if we find the end note, then we reset the mode. And if the mode is actions, if we've found the opening tag but haven't yet found the closing tag, then we just go through each line in the note tags and we add it to an object's card actions variable. And we separate them by commas. I think in the next big update, we're going to be separating them. This is going to be an array of card actions. So that way you can actually handle commas inside evals a little bit easier and things like that. But for right now, if I were to go into, let's say, Strike. Strike has a series of card actions, and if I were to open up the game and say, hey, let me get data skills, this is 5, of course. If I were to get dataskills.5, I would get the data object for Strike, and inside that data object, let me zoom in so it's a little bit easier to see. And inside that data object, I would see a variable called card actions, which contains all of the card actions. All of the card actions that we have separated by commas here. So that's just what this line of code, what this block of code is doing. Is it's storing all of the card actions into an object, or into the skills variable, so that we can reference it later. So that's really useful, but that doesn't tell us how do we take the thing that we added. Like, let's say I were to say card action, we wanted to do wish. Was that our first one?
Yeah, so I think show them, once we processed it, where do we actually check for the individual card actions, right? So I think that'll be helpful. And then we'll get to search for and wish. We'll get to the aliasing part later.
So if I were to add wish 3 to Strike, I were to save and do all of that.
No, Isaiah, you're skipping a step.
I know. I just want to show you that it's here. It's not currently doing anything, and we'll get to that next.
Cool.
So where are we processing card actions? So this is where we're processing card actions. The question is, where are we performing card actions? This might be hard for you to find if you were to just do your sleuthing, but I'll tell you right now, it's in perform card action. We have a complicated system to determine when the actions are being performed, but all of them are being performed in this function, GameBattler.prototype.perform card action. And what you can see is that with each action, first we format the action, and that means that we're replacing our internal commas, so that way we can handle commas inside eval statements. We're replacing, basically we're replacing /v1. We're replacing that with game variable dot value 1, and we're doing the same thing with actually we're not doing the same thing with game switches, but we could say action equals action dot replace, and then I'll copy all of this, but instead of v we'll want to say s, and instead of game variables we'll want to say game switches. So now, now we're processing switches for whatever that's worth.
Sure. Can you explain how replace works? You're jumping ahead for us plebeians here.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I got sidetracked. So this is a complicated regular expression that essentially says if we find the is this a backslash or a /? This guy. But if we find that / and then we find the letter S followed by a number, then we are replacing that throughout the entire string with the value of game switches dot value whatever the number is. So if I have a string that says draw /s1, it finds all instances of it finds all instances of /s1 and replaces it with game switches dot value 1, but it doesn't replace it with that text. It replaces it with the actual value, which is either 0 or 1. So what we end up with is either draw 0 or draw 1. Does that make sense?
Why don't we give chat a moment to respond to us?
Yep.
But if I have a suggestion, they don't have the switch replace on their end.
That's true.
So that may be a little bit hard for them to parse. If we use that as an example, perhaps we should use something simple like draw 3, draw until 10. Mm-hmm.
Let's get into I got sidetracked with format card action, but let's get into perform card action.
Before you do,
okay.
Chat a moment to respond.
You're right. And I'll take this moment to get a sip of water.
Okay, so that's good.
Okay, so, in the perform card action function, we format the card action so that we support game variables and so on, and then we go through and we say, hey, what does the card action say? If it says draw X, where X is a number, then we draw cards. That's what this is checking for. If we say draw until X, where X is a number, then we call draw cards until. And we're doing that for we're just doing that over and over for each card action that we have supported. And in other plugins, we override perform card action to add more card actions we're checking for.
Yeah.
And
One
so
thing that folks will be able to see is that in each of the if statements, right, we have this action.match, and then we have the. Notice that all of them, at least a good number of them, are using /d plus, right, in parentheses. Now, you've been working with card. What do you think goes in that /d plus, right? If you answered a number, you would be correct, right? So whenever we build the card actions in note tags, right, we do things like draw 4, right, or draw until 10, right? So that's the X, right? We essentially read in a value and we're expecting a number, right? So if you said instead like draw pineapples, right? We're not expecting pineapples. Pineapples is a word, it's a string, right? We're not expecting pineapples, we're expecting a number. So if you write draw pineapple, we will probably put an error in your console log being like, hey, we don't know what you mean by pineapples, right? But yeah, if you put a number instead, then we are able to read it in and go inside that if statement, and then we call the function, right, based on the value. Back to you, Isaiah.
yeah. So /d plus in this case is essentially code for replaces with any number. We don't know what the number is going to be, but we know it will be a number. So as you can see here, we've got draw /d plus, and then we say, hey, whatever that number is, that's stored in regexp.%1 or $1. So I might say var amount equals regexp1, and then I might say draw cards amount. And this guy is just whatever is here. So in effect, what we're saying is, hey, look for the text draw card X and tell us what X is. And so it's looking for this text, and then it says, hey, we're gonna store X in here. So now you can do whatever you want with that information. And in this case, we want to draw cards with that amount. And that's the basics of RegEx. RegEx is whenever you type, let's say var reg equals, whenever you type /text/I, that's a regular expression. So if I am looking for, if I said, if action.match reg, then whenever the text is text, maybe text is a bad example because it's linguistically confusing. And so if I were to say text and then parentheses /d plus, then it would be looking for something like text 6 or text 300. And then we would find a match in here, and I would say var number equals .1, and that's whatever this guy is in this case. So
okay,
that's go ahead.
Yeah. So that's all the regex you really need to know to add new card actions.
Yeah.
Right? You basically need to create what is called a match case, right? And you can just copy what we have and like change the word, right?
Yeah.
You can change the word. You can add. You can bracket /d plus, right, and then copy it again, right? And for the most part, right, like that will end up that will end up working out. So let's actually show you two examples. One is we're going to do an alias. So we're going to take an existing card action, one that you can see there called search for, and we're actually going to add we're going to add a case that looks for a different word but still does the operation for search for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the next one is we're gonna add an entirely new card action, right, to this case. In both cases, Isaiah, I'm gonna recommend we actually do it as separate,
Okay.
because that's safer than editing the core engine file.
Yeah. If you can avoid it, try not to edit the somebody else's plugins directly, just because it makes it so that it will be harder to keep track of what your changes are, and especially if their plugins are still being updated like ours are, you may lose your changes if you update your plugins.
Okay, so before we move on to the next step, chat, any questions so far? So far, we've shown you where in the code the node tags are being processed. We've shown you why we want the node tags formatted the way that we need them, and then we've shown you how once we've read in the information, while right in your node tags, how we process it into something that turns into okay. So let's give chat about 2 minutes if they have any questions before we move on. Isaiah, feel free to get a drink of water.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How are you feeling with the explanation so far?
I'm feeling all right. But okay. I have a bias because I gave the explanation, and also because Sketching Bear has an excellent question. They
Fantastic.
say what if I want something like text 5 space 3? So this is great. When we write a regular expression or a regex, it's searching for not just the word text, but also the space between text and /d plus. So if I were to add another space, then both of these would fail unless they had a space in there. And so if I were to just say /d plus again, then I would need another number. And so we've got text space and then a number, and then space and then another number. And as long as that's the format that we have our string, that will be caught. There's something else you can do, is if you want a number that is exactly double digits, like if you wanted something like text 35 and you wanted that to pass, but text 3, and by pad I of course mean pass, if you want that to fail, then there's another format you can do where you say var reg equals /text, and it's going to suggest /d plus. You just want /d/d, and the plus says search for at least one number. But if you just say /d, /d is looking for one single digit of one number. So in this case, /d equals 1, 2, 3, etc. /d plus is anywhere between 1 and 9999999.
Okay.
So sorry, every once in a while I'm getting feedback. I don't know if that's you, Neil, or if it's the streamer or what.
It might be me. Turning my microphone far away from the speaker.
But let's say we want to go back to text /d space /d plus. So we're testing for two different numbers. Now, we want to get the value of both of these numbers. So we'll say the first number we'll call number 1, and that'll be regex dot $1, and then var number 2 equals regex dot $2. And you can imagine that if I added another /d plus in here, that we'd be able to get a third one with the number 3, and so on. And I believe this goes up to 9. I could be wrong, but I believe that using this specific method, you can have up to 9 different inputs that we're specifically searching for. And if you want to add, you could add up to 9 of these, but if you want, for example, let's say text, if we put this in parentheses, as it currently is, then what ends up happening, because it's first in the line, we would say var text equals regex1, and then number 1 would be 2, number 2 would be 3, and number 3 would be 4. Does this all make sense so far?
Yeah. One caveat: if you're a programmer, we know that the regular expression that has changed the format.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna change things over to it. Just give us like one more CD. So.
Yeah, programmers watching this shaking their heads like, "Hey, you shouldn't be using this technique." And they are right. This technique is how we. I mean, it was correct when we initially wrote CGC, and we haven't moved it over yet. But also, I feel that this technique is easiest to teach new programmers. So I also think it's useful in that sense as well.
Okay, so let's clean up. Yeah, so Sketching Bear seemed to like the explanation. Nice job, Isaiah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so let's clean up some of the code additions for engine, just to make sure like it'll compile fine.
Yeah.
And then move on to aliasing, right?
All right.
So while you do that, let me explain what we want to do next. So here's the pitch. We're making a game where it's do you know the old like children's book about Nemo who goes through dreams, right? I believe it was like then became like a children's book. So this is a card game based around navigating dreams, right? And so we thought maybe the cards, right, like the card actions could have a more like whimsical kind of feeling. So instead of things like draw, right, instead of things like search for, what if I want to change search for into wish, right? That makes more sense. It's much more like whimsical. It's much more dreamlike, right? And if I'm implementing 1,000 plus cards, I don't want to like have to call search for all the time. I just want to call it wish. So Isaiah, how do I go about making this dream card game?
So that's a fantastic question. The first thing that you'll want to do is make sure that you're working in a new plugin, and you can call this new plugin, like, let's say, I don't want to show you my entire document system, so let me just find the correct place to save this.
We should probably call it like CCA underscore like example 1, just so people know like it's part of this lesson plan.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So we're calling it CCA example 1, and you can see in Visual Studio that just appeared in my project. I don't know what Visual Studio thinks I'm about to try and program, but it's definitely not that. So we want to override and inherit the behavior of perform card action. Every stream we do this, what we want to do is we want to say var game battler perform card action equals, oh my god, There we go. And then equals function action. And I'll add an underscore here just in case somebody else already made a variable with that name in a different plugin. Do not accidentally dox yourself again for the 10th time. It's all right. Nobody's gonna maliciously pinpoint my social security number from my folder structure.
They already. It was a government department.
So we now have a function that is taking perform card action and it's replacing it with what we want it to do. And we can say game battler perform card action dot call this action. And what this is doing is it's taking the original function, which is this guy, and it's just calling it, so that way the original behavior is still intact. Now, there is something that I want to show here about the original function, is that if you scroll down to the very, very end, it says, hey, if we couldn't find any card action that fits, then we warn... and we've got our new warn system, but essentially we say, hey, the action that you supplied is not currently registered. Maybe there's a typo or something like that, and then we show you here's what the action you wrote said. So if we were to call this function and then do other stuff underneath it, then when we write our own card action, it would believe that it didn't find the action and warn us about it, and then find the action, which is really not something that we want. So instead, we might want to do if, and I'll say if true for now, and that's going to be if we find our card action, then we do the card action thing, and otherwise we want to call the original function. This format is something that you'll see if I open up card types, and I'll show you. So we do the same thing. We override the original function, we redefine it, and then we add a bunch of our own card actions, and then at the end we say, hey, if you couldn't find the card action, call the original function. So this is fundamentally the same as the way we override things in our own plugins. But because we're doing things this way, that means that we do need to reformat the card action. So this is the thing of, replacing the /v with the game variable. We want to make sure that we're doing that again. So we'll say var original action, and original action is referenced down here. Do we pass original action? Yes, we do pass the original action, not the formatted action, because we don't want to necessarily reformat the formatted action, just in case that does something weird to it. We want to make sure that every time it's formatted exactly the same way. So, now that we've got that taken care of, if we set this to false, this is essentially a function that will say, hey, if we can't find anything, then we call the original function. And this is great. And now we want to say action.match. And then remember, our format is /text/I. And what this text is, in our case, we said we want to search for wish.
Yeah, so instead of search for, we want to use wish, and then space, and then the amount of cards.
Yes,
right?
And that will be /d plus.
Yeah. Briefly, go to the database and go to skill number. It's in the Warlock skills. No, it's in the Arcane skills. Go to skill number 48.
All right.
That's basically what we want to do, right? We want to draw one card from deck of your choice, right? But we simplify that into a single action, which is why we're doing this search format. Now, one thing I have to check for search for is search for ID or is it for number of cards that you're searching for? It seems to be for.
Yeah, it's for ID. And I did just want to check. Are you sure it's Wish? Because Wish does not use the search for card action.
I'm saying the function is similar. Right?
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah.
Don't
So
worry. Later on, we'll show how to do a comp in one go. That's the next step. Yeah.
Yeah, so in our original card action where we do search for /D, we are drawing the card of the skill ID. So if you were to pass in, Wish 5, that would be equal to draw Strike, because Strike is skill ID 5.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And then we can say, hey, search for is calling draw a card of skill ID of RegEx 1. I can just copy that and put that in. And what that's doing is saying, draw a card of the specified skill ID. And that's exactly what's happening. Now, if we want to go the extra mile, we can say else if action dot match and then /wish and then /I, and we can do parentheses dot plus close parentheses. Now dot plus is different from /D plus, because dot plus so where /D equals a number, dot equals any character. So while wish /D must be wish 36, wish dot can be wish strike. And strike is S is any character, T is any character, and so on. Technically, it can also be wish 36 because numbers are also characters. But that's why we have this guy after the first one. And so this is the method that we use to say, hey, if you search for a number, then we draw a card of skill ID. But if you search for any other character, then we draw a card of skill name. So we can do the same, draw card of skill name, $1. So that way you can do wish strike, and this will work perfectly.
Okay, so let's now that we have this, let's save our changes, add this to the plugin manager. This plugin will have to go at the bottom, right? Because we essentially want to override after at least core engine.
Yeah.
That should be correct. And then my recommendation, we actually create a, right? Have it, give it the passive start and hand, right? And then, yeah, have it wish for strike. Right? And that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And then add it to the basic class.
Yeah. We'll call this Violent Thoughts.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I just, you're wishing for strike, I guess. So, and I'll copy these card actions just so that I have,
yeah.
But we'll want to.
I mean, you actually don't have to copy on the card. I think like copy focus if you want a template, because we just need it to be like very simple, right?
Yeah.
Hard actions, wish, strike. Right. That's it.
Yeah. And instead of card target actions, I mean, we can use card target actions, and that would be fine.
You can use card actions for this one. That I think that's okay too.
Let me also
Then
get rid of wish 3
target.
here.
Yeah.
And say card actions wish
Yeah.
5.
So the reason that I recommended against copying parry.
Yeah, that
Which,
makes sense.
Good news. Next major update. That will be on. Figured out. So instead, yeah, it's just card actions, and let's first try like wish with the skill ID, like wish 5, and then we can try with the string, and then we can try it with a variable, because the way that we have it, the variable will get formatted, right? And we'll be able to wish for that.
Let's make sure that we have 3 copies of Violent Thoughts.
Well, you can just give the passive start in hand.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Guaranteed to draw it every time. You just need 1 copy of it. By the way, if you folks at home, if you're testing your cards, there's 2 ways to make that process really. One is just to have a hand, right? And that'll essentially make sure that you draw into it. But if you need to test with more than that, you can just make just starts in hand.
Okay, so I'm looking. The stream is lagging. Roberto is correct. It looks like I'm dropping frames here.
Okay. Do we want to wait for like the thing to level out?
Yeah, we'll wait for it to pick back up.
Yeah. One thing I noticed is that there's an anchovy in your basic deck. There probably shouldn't be an anchovy.
Excuse me.
Yes. That might have been a mistake from yours truly.
Oh no. So yeah, we did drop a few
is.
frames. My internet is a little bit inconsistent, unfortunately.
Okay. So when we come back, let's do like a 2-minute. When we come back, we will show you how this works. Right?
Well,
like we will actually.
We're back now. It's fine now.
Okay. It's fine now. Okay.
Yeah. So very briefly, we created a skill called Violent Thoughts. We gave it Wish 5, and we told it to start in hand. So that way we can test how it works immediately.
Yeah. The good news is that the anchovy won't affect it, but it's annoying that it's in there.
So let's save here so we can speed up testing a little bit. So it did not start in my hand. Let me make sure. Did I edit the correct?
No. Check your actor. You may not be the basic. You may be like hero or something.
Okay.
So you should be Herald 1.
Oh.
Yeah. Check if you're the basic class. Is that the case?
I should be. Yeah, still basic.
No. If you're so I guess check your deck before you go into that first battle.
Yeah.
Like check your library.
Here, I'll let me share my screen with you so that you can see without the stream delay.
Is it just not adding Violent Thoughts to your hand? Oh no, it's because the deck list. Turn off deck editor.
Oh yeah, that'd do it.
Oh, also you that might cause that. Yeah. Okay, let me just watch from the stream on this side. That way it's not lagging.
Yeah.
Okay, Violent Thoughts are.
Since we turned off deck editor, I gotta make a new save file.
Yep.
There we go.
Hey,
there we
there's
go.
then
So
mute.
so this won't work because unfortunately I peeked ahead and there is a syntax error in our plugin.
Okay.
Yep. Now it says wish 5 is not registered, and that's because this plugin is not working. It says on line 10 there's an error.
Yeah. Because you.
Aha. Neil, can you spot the problem?
Yeah, you need another person.
Yep. And that should fix it. If I were to refresh, yep, no syntax error this time. So let's try again.
I'm glad that the warning system caught it.
There we go.
Hey.
It gave us a copy of Strike.
Okay, so now let's try something. Let's try something a little bit different. So let's go into the database and let's wish for a block card, not strike, right? Let's wish for like a different card, right? So try wish block, right? And then the last test is we're gonna put the name or the ID of the card in a variable, and we'll test the variable.
All right. We'll save this. We'll refresh. And Violent Thoughts gives us a copy of block. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, so last test is a variable. So have it be 100,
100.
just so that it's not any of the other variables that we're using.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then when we go into the battle, right? So variable 100, before we go into the battle, assign a value to it.
Yeah.
So how about set it to the string focus?
Okay.
Yeah, set value 100.
Oops. Yeah, I gotta
you
say,
need to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now
Okay.
let me
And
just...
then when we check... Oh, no. That's because of the annoying. Just give it a... It's because it formats it on... It's really annoying. If we use set value, it guards it to prevent... Really annoying. It's set value function does... So instead of ID for it, so 8.
I can do game variables dot data 100 equals focus, and that's fine.
Yeah. That's how you work around it. We ran into this issue with somebody on the server, right? And we were just losing our minds, right? Because it turned out, it was set value that was throwing it off. Okay, so now when you have violent thoughts,
It draws focus.
Draw focus. Yeah.
Excellent.
So those are the three main checks, right? We are able to do skill ID, we're able to do skill name, and then we're able to do variable, and it can be whatever value in a variable. It can be either ID or name. So we have successfully aliased search for. So we no longer ever need to use search. We can just use wish, right? The good news is we can also use search for. So that's how an alias works, right? You can always call the old name, but call it the right. So yeah, we have successfully done the first part. So this isn't a new action, but we're showing you how you would do that process, right? And then we're gonna follow it up by implementing a new action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, chat. Question time. Do you have any questions about what we just did? Okay, looks like the stream is lagging once more.
I'm not dropping any frames this time, at least. Wait, we can force game variables to be other types than integer per script. I never knew. Yeah, it's
that's JavaScript. It's untyped.
Here, let me see.
You can make them anything, but set value specifically, right? Formats it. If you give it a weird value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't... So it says if it's a number, floor the value, which is also annoying. That means that it can't be decimals.
Yeah, and I believe the decimal issue was the one that we ran into. So we had to do something weird in that workaround where like we had to pass an array that contains the string that we it was nuts, right?
That's very annoying.
Okay, so it says lag was on their end. So okay, so yeah, if chat doesn't have it, we're gonna continue to implementing like an entirely new card action.
I'm gonna make a plugin called Myth Better Game Variables that just deletes this, and that's all it does.
What if we just made Myth Origin? Please help me convince Isaiah that like making like our
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So we should make a new JavaScript file.
All right.
And yeah, that's going to be example 2. So now we've shown you how to alias. So we're using an existing function and we're doing it again. But what if we wanted to implement a new card action, a custom card action, if you will? So here's the Isaiah. Why don't you show them Scry?
Yes.
The definition of it.
Yes, of course. I do have that pulled up.
Yeah. So I'll link it in chat as well. Okay. So the first one we're gonna attempt, right, is one that is very common. Like a lot of you have requested us to implement it, and you technically can already do this as Card Action Pack 1's latest update cards, workout as well. Okay, sketching bear is coming from. Now that's a language. Right? It's not a clown language like. I love JavaScript, but good God. So Scry mechanic. Okay, so here's how Scry works, right? Is that cards will have effects that have it Scry X, right? And these allow you to look through the top couple cards of your deck, and then you pick one to go to your hand, and then the rest will go to the bottom of your. In Magic, it's called a library. It's deck for our purposes, right? And you get to determine the order. Now, determining the order, we're probably not going to be able to do that. That gets very, very finicky. But the being able to make this into a keyword, right? Like make this into a card act, we can do that. Isaiah, could you show them fill with as an example, fill with fright and read the bones as 2 examples how Scry is used in Magic?
Yes. Sorry, I thought. Here we go. Fill with fright. Yes.
Okay. So here's a card example of how Scry could be used. So filled with fright, it has. So target player discards 2, and then you get to Scry, right? And so it's a black mana, right? It's going towards card destruction, that kind of. But it's essentially giving you in a 1v1, right? It's a little bit expensive for the cost, but we're not going to get into it. Okay.
That part is not our concern.
Yeah. And then another example is read the bones, which is basically this effect, right? But it gives you an additional thing. So read the bones is Scry 2. Oops. So you're checking the top 2 cards of your deck, right? You're essentially picking a card and then putting the other one on the bottom, and then you draw 2 cards. And this is really cool, right? Because you can essentially be like, okay, you Scry 2, and you're like, hey, I think I like both of these cards. So you can like put the remaining one, right? Or remaining one. You lose 2 life as any, but that's typical black mana type of spell, right? Okay. So one correction in the explanation. So with Scry, it doesn't go to your hand, it goes to the top of your deck. So essentially you are setting up your future draws to be successful. So read the bones is really good, right? Because essentially you got to check 2 cards and see, hey, do I want both the cards? I put them back on the top, right? Do I only want one of the card? I put one card on the top, the other one. Do I not want either card? I put both. Pretty cool effect. So how do we implement this in CGC? So let's try that, right? Let's just make a card that would have that kind of effect. So I think in the place of Violent Thoughts, right, we can do Scry, right?
So we'll call this card Eyes Emoji.
Yes, I think that would be appropriate. Is there an eye?
There is not an eye. Very upset about this.
There's a blinking eye, right, for blindness, right?
That's true, yeah.
Okay, so how do we want this card to work? We want to search. I think we want it similar to so we want to search the top 2 cards, right?
Top 2 cards.
Yeah, and then cards that you pick go to the top of your deck. Cards that you don't pick go to the bottom of it. How does that sound? We may need, if we want deck locations, we may need to have card action pack 2.
Yeah. And I do have action pack 2 preemptively present.
Yeah. So card action pack 2 adds in the ability where in the deck something goes, right? Okay. So yeah, so we have select 2 from deck top, I think.
We would want select 1 from. Oh, I forget the syntax to this. It would be select. There's a way to say select 1 from 2. I guess not. Maybe this is an action pack 2. No.
Honestly, you could even say select 2 from deck, and it's gonna grab the top 2 cards.
That's true. But
Yeah.
then we have an issue of we only want to select up to 2, correct?
Yeah. So okay, no. So I get what you mean. So it needs to be select any off 2, right? From deck top.
Select X of Y. We've got select X of Y type name, but don't we have?
We have.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Select 1 of 2 from deck top.
Okay. So yeah, so we want to do select any because we're trying to implement the full scope of.
Will we support select? We actually might not have a select any of. No, we don't.
Okay. In that case, we could simplify it. We can select.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one we select stays on top, and the other one goes to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, I think that's how we want to do it. And then after this, draw 1.
Yeah.
Because we want to see what we want to see the card that we put on the. Though. Yeah, we want to like wait for the. We want to clear. Do we need to wait for the action to complete the movement to complete before we draw 1?
I don't think so, because I mean, so visually actions happen in their own time, but mechanically actions happen instantaneously. So we shouldn't need to wait.
Okay. The thing is, I do believe somebody. My hope is that we have cleared that error by 164.
Yeah,
we'll see if
let's
that
at
error...
least let's wait 15 at least.
Okay, cool.
Just in case.
We're waiting for dramatic effect.
Extremely true.
Okay. All right, so we get back in there. Okay. We have this new card. Okay.
So we're choosing between Strike and Flurry.
Okay, so let's put Flurry.
Move unselected from deck to deck is not registered.
Okay. Yeah. What did we draw instead?
Oh, it's because you can just say move unselected to deck bottom.
Okay. Okay, let's refresh. Run that back.
Eyes emoji, and this time we're choosing between block and strike. I'll choose strike. And we have drawn block. So
And
go ahead.
yeah, but how do we confirm that the strike is?
Yeah, so it looks like we're still drawing. I think it's possible that Action Pack 2. I think it's possible that move selected cards to deck is not doing. Let's see. We're looking at move card. Not game interpreter move card. Yeah, we currently say, hey, if the starting zone is equal to the ending zone, we don't do it. Which is not something that we want for this effect, because we do want to actually change its location.
Okay, so we're literally having to edit the plugin in order to make this work.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so this time we selected Flurry and we drew Flurry. So that's good.
So yeah, so the one thing we have to confirm, right, is the block at the bottom.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, when you open the deck, it doesn't
Yeah.
show it in order. But we can check the data, right?
Yes. So we
Yeah.
can say game party dot leader dot card deck. Yes. And we could just go in and say game card skill ID 6 is at the bottom. And that
It's
should be
blocked.
block, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So with a plugin edit,
With
we
a
were
big
able to
with a
use
big
it.
caveat.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sort of thinking, and Neil, I'm not sure how you feel about this, but I'm sort of thinking that this line of code does not have to be in the next version of CGC.
I agree with you. So, but we probably want to, in the example, we may just want to give them the editor.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So that line is out there. That way, if somebody just slots in plugin, they aren't just like, hey, this why is this? Right.
And I'll
Yeah.
I'll say.
And then just be like, hey, we needed to edit out one specific. Okay, so we've proven with that edit that we are able to do Scry, right? Can we scale the effect, right? Can we increase it, right? That'll be our next step, and then once we're able to prove that, we're going to implement it as a custom card.
Yes. Let me just save this real quick. So your question, can we scale Scry? So can we say, for example, select one of two can instead be select one of, or select 2 of 4?
Yeah, something like that. And then maybe draw 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we can see those cards. So in Magic terms, this would be like Scry 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we
Now
see the top 4.
Let's draw both focuses.
Yes.
Boom. Both focuses.
And then let's check the bottom of our deck. We should have 5, 6 at the bottom of our deck.
Yep. 5, 6.
Correct says, do you have a plan to make maybe a start? You know, when battle start, we can move card in your MC. Okay, so Korik, you may want to look at plugins So I know that there's a Tales of Fantasia-esque like linear motion battle system plugin that people have made for RPG Maker. That may be more your speed. Um, but I don't know if they have that Star Ocean. If you're interested in Star Ocean, however, Isaiah is working on a plugin that implements Star Ocean's skill learning system. That's coming pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we at least have that part of it done, but we will probably not be working on Star Ocean's like variant on the linear motion that Trias did. Very sorry. That's a really high scope plugin that's very much out of our field of expertise. We can't even get real time cards. Much less like a real time battlefield. Here's the thing, like we're not the only plugin developer out here, right? So feel free to like check what other developers have done, right? They will have expertise. Okay, all right, back to this. We know we can do Scry at scale. Awesome. Let's convert it into a custom card.
Yes.
So our goal is not for Scry to be a specific card, right? Rather, we want to be able to use Scry in any card, right? As a card action.
Yeah, we want to be able to say Scry 3. I typed 4, so we're going to go with 4. And we want to say that's a card action. Or Scry X, where X is a number.
Yeah.
So let me find perform card action. Yes.
As a Korik is offering $60. I don't know. It's a pretty tempting offer. Yeah, I think Mog Hunter was already working, so feel free to check out their work.
I think the issue is because Korik is an MZ user,
right? Which I think that's has Mog Hunter not ported their plugins over yet?
I don't think so.
I know they're not as active anymore, but yeah. I mean, Korik, at least not for the next 2 years. I'm very sorry. Like,
we're
right?
a lot busier than we would like to be.
But again, like let's put out the plugin that system. If we see people gravitating towards that, then it's in the cards, right? Like it could happen, right? But I don't want to promise anything, at least for the. Our team is very small.
So, we've got a series of card actions. Let me separate this by an extra space. So we've got Scry X, select one of X from deck top, move unselected deck bottom, clear selection. These are 3 card actions that we essentially want to turn into just one card action. So it's tricky to say, we can't just say, we can't just find where action pack 1 is saying perform card action, and call battle manager, require selection, and then move selected and then clear selection. We can't do that all at once because we actually need the user to make the selection before we can do the move selection. So in this case, the best way to do this might not be to override perform card action, but instead to find data manager, is database loaded, and say, hey, here's where we're processing card action note tags. I think we want to say var data manager process card action note tags. Autofill finally understands what I want to do. wow, it actually understands what I want to do. But I still don't like this full autofill. So we might want to go through and say, this is a pretty, oh, come on. You know how to change indentations. This is a very standard go through each item in the group and then go through each note tag in its system. Although actually we don't need its note tag in this case. We want to say if object dot, or if obj dot card actions, then go through and check to see if, please don't autofill at this point in time, you're spoiling. We want to see if we were to, for example, add Scry 4, then in our list of card actions separated by commas, we would find the text Scry 4. So we want to look inside the card action variable to see if we can find Scry 4. So we want to say var match equal obj card actions. Wow. I get angry whenever it autofills correctly because I'm like, let me do the work. And we want to say IG so that it's global. And then how do we format card actions? Let's see. Format card action. We say action equals action dot replace. Okay. So in this case, we want to say if match. Stop your autofill. I don't know how to disable this.
I think it's in preferences.
Okay. I'll
but like basically you'll be dumbifying the ID. It is really annoying. This is I don't know if this is Copilot at work, but
yeah,
or it might.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I might be able to just settings uncheck, and that might be.
That might be it.
I think that might be it. Okay. So I can say if match, then we might want to say obj card actions equals obj card actions dot replace, and we'll want to say slash, and we don't actually need the brackets here. And let's see. And this is a function where we want to use the arguments. This gets more complicated into RegEx, but that's all right. That's why we wanted to cover this, and I'm using my own code as reference. Dot bind this. There we go. So if we find Scry, then we want to replace all instances of Scry with return a string containing these card actions. Select one of X from deck top, move unselected to deck's bottom, clear selection. And because currently card actions are separated by commas, we'll say select one of, and I'll say X for now, from deck top, move unselected to deck bottom, clear selection. And now the X we want to make sure is arguments 1. So we'll say var Scry amount equals arguments 1, and then So all of this looks pretty complicated, and technically we don't need this. So to simplify it, I will actually get rid of that. Hold on, did I erase the right number of brackets? Yes, because
Yeah, very important question.
you always want to make sure. Hold on. I removed one too many brackets. Do not want a syntax error. Okay, so basically what's happening here is first we process the note tags, and that creates the card actions variable inside any object. Then we check to say, hey, if that card actions object exists, then we want to say, if you find Scry X, replace that with 3 card actions simultaneously. And so what we should see here is if I save this and I go into eyes emoji and I'm going to Control X and say Scry 4. If I hit apply and then look at data skills, what was this, 17? Yeah, 17. We should see inside our card actions. We do not see Scry. Instead, we see select one of 4 from deck top, move unselected to deck bottom, clear selection. Which is, I mean, that's this. So we just replaced those 3 card actions with one very easy to type. It's literally 4 letters. And so if I go in, the card action says Scry 4, but we're actually performing this much more complicated setup. And there you go. Things are working.
Things are working.
Okay. So, yeah. So we've essentially implemented the Scry card that you saw previously, right? As there is one thing. So we can't use any, right? It's like any.
Yum.
Why?
Yum.
Okay. So that's one. We'll get that working. And that'll be like a true, right? Because Scry lets you pick whichever, like how many ever you kind of want. But why don't we try this not on its own card, but on another card? So why don't we try this on, let's say, Strike. Strike has Strike has Scry 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we go into Strike, we add Scry 2. Will it work? So it'll deal the damage, and then it'll Scry 2.
Yep. It's working fine.
Okay. And then use focus to draw. So we can see what card. Oh no, there isn't. Just debug draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the card that you put back?
I am pretty sure.
Okay. All right. Let's check one
My
more.
short-term memory and my long-term memory are both not good.
Okay.
So you've got a strike
so we
and
got-
a focus.
Okay.
So let's select block,
Okay, and then
and we
And
do
hey,
indeed
block is the-
draw block.
okay. So yeah, so we've done it. We've done a new action. Scry doesn't exist, right? Made it. We made it into a card, then we turned it into a custom card action, like so. Now, hopefully, in your custom card, you don't have to like make core engine edits to get it to. But that first part of it is what, right? So basically, what we do is we create a card that can do that, take those actions, and essentially we when we're going through custom card with that set of actions, right, as an effect. That's at least how you would approach custom card action with CGC 164 right now. Down the line, maybe we'll have like its own, right? But if you want to do this now, this is how you might. Okay, so that was a lot. Chat, how are we feeling? By the way, Isaiah, you missed a back and forth.
Yeah, I am seeing that.
Yeah. So yeah, Korek wants us to make a style battle system, which could be fun, right? Because it's similar to Chain of Memories, where you can move up and down as well as, right? Which is pretty neat, but pretty high scope.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, we were talking about like prices for the right. And yeah, who knows? That may be in our future. Yeah. Okay. So, chat. Any questions? This was Scry, right? We're gonna show you. How much time do we have left? How are we doing?
We have an hour and a half left if we're going the full 3 hours.
Perfect. We should probably move on to what people are probably here for, which is tributes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm thoroughly in the I don't wanna category.
We can do it. I believe in us. Right? Here's the thing. I think we can get basic tribute summon working, right? And then XYZ and Synchro Summon a little bit hard. But if you can get the basic version of it working, similar to what we did here, right? We got the basic version, right, of we got Wish working. Once we got Wish working, then we can build on top of it, Scry, right? And that's what I would sort of encourage. Little steps, right? Like get one thing working and then build on top of that, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Isaiah, do you need a bit of a break before we go down the tributes?
I think I'm good.
Okay, all right. So in that case, go ahead and place Harold in the Summons Island because we're testing there.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and then one thing I will add like 4 wisps and make them start in. Give them that passive. Because then you just have your tributes right?
If I start in the Summons Island, will my deck be set up correctly?
Yes, check it out.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep, this is some magic I'm doing on
This is this is why Neil is irreplaceable.
Well, thank you, Isaiah. Yeah. So go ahead and add 4 wisps to your. So you'll have a class
Yeah.
duelist basic, right? Go ahead and add 4 wisp cards, and then we'll just have it. And the reason we're doing this, we just need the tributes ready. We don't want. I have 1 mana. Okay, I put a good creature. You guys aren't gonna sit around and wait for us to test. So wisp should be, spirit wisp should be on the like. It's like the first card in our summons list.
Yeah, here we go. Spirit Wisp.
Yeah. So put 4 copies of them. Mm-hmm. We can also debug all them, but I just thought this would be faster.
Yeah.
But and then go to the skill database and go to 183 and give them the card passive start in field.
Yeah.
And that way they're just out there, right? When we want to test.
Sketching Bear says, I think your code for replacing Scry is not infinite loop safe, but it's fine. I love, but it's fine there. I
guess where are you coming from with that?
So, I don't know. I think it's infinite loops because, like, /D plus
Like,
can't contain Scry, so there's no way to replace Scry X with select one of Scry and then replace that. Frog says hi. Hi, Frog.
Frog, hopefully we'll be able to get the quests. We have to make it through Tribute Summon, right?
I'm not, and for the record, Bear, I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is, tell me more, because I don't know, I don't see it.
Maybe they're talking about like when the node tag is. But even then, we actually only do that in databases loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume it's because we've got the G here, that it could happen endlessly. But that would be if we replace this with something that contains Scry. Like if I were to say Scry 4 in here, then that would cause an infinite loop, because we'd be replacing Scry with Scry, and then we'd have to replace that Scry, and then we'd have to replace the Scry that we replace, and so on. If you replace one action with 3, don't you have to skip those 3 somehow to not get checked again? Actually, I'm not sure if JavaScript's replace function checks the things it replaces or not. It's possible that if you put Scry 4 in here, that it would just do that. I don't want to test it, because if it causes an infinite loop, it'll be a pain to deal with.
I mean, let's test it, right? Like, why don't we?
All right. So if I replace this with Scry 4, and then I boot up the game should fail to successfully boot up. If it's an infinite loop, then it won't boot up. Okay, so it did boot up. If we look at data skill 17.card actions, we do indeed see Scry 4 is in the middle there. Okay, so
And it's because we're only formatting it once.
Yeah, if we did
Formatting it, right? Like, this is the specific thing that you already.
So this would cause an infinite loop for sure.
I mean, it helps you're putting it in.
That's true. Yeah, a while loop is a pretty.
Yeah. But yeah, let's try it, right?
Okay, yeah. I'll close this, and then I will have to boot up Task Manager to free ourselves from this prison. No? Oh,
because,
syntax error.
So, Sketching Bear is saying, yeah, I'm not sure JavaScript, but it needs other replaces.
Invalid regular. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd do it.
Could he tell us what other replaces it needs?
Yeah, if you were making this in C#, how would you do this differently? I can't tell you how much I don't want to cause an infinite loop, but Neil is making
may as well.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
we did it.
let's go.
And if I try and close it out, if I try and close it out, it does work. But let me just make sure there's no. Yeah, it's still running in the background because it doesn't actually know how to close. So I do have to end the task.
So let's restore it to the previous state.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna put the code out for the you are able to recreate the scenario on your end, let us know, and then we'll replace it with the more like proper code version of it.
Bear and me getting in a coding argument. Honestly, like I welcome. If my code is bad, I need to be told. It's important.
Yeah, but Bear better back themselves up. Right? That's why I'm taking this tone.
You know, Neil, we really are a good cop, bad cop.
I don't want to be a cop. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So here's the thing. Yeah. Okay. So Bear says, for example, if you have another replace that replaces X with Y in Scry, wouldn't it be checking Scry again because it doesn't adjust? I think this is fair.
I think, like, okay, so if I were to do Control F here, and say replace, if I were to, I'll use Scry as an example, because there are a couple, there are only 3 Scrys in here, but if I were to replace Scry with Scry 3, for example, then if I start at the top and I say replace next, wow, it really doesn't. I thought it was gonna like try and replace the same thing over and over again. But essentially what replace IG is doing is it's equivalent of hitting replace all in Visual Studio, which doesn't repeat endlessly because it doesn't replace the thing that it just replaced. And that's fundamentally what's preventing the infinite loop. The thing that it just replaced, it doesn't have to check. This bit of text, it doesn't matter what's contained in here. It immediately moves on to what happens, what's after that in the string. And that's just something that JavaScript's .replace does. That's how that function works.
Yeah. Let's give Bear a chance to clarify, and then we should probably move on.
Yeah. And I'm sure in C#, because, you know, JavaScript is a clown language, but one of the benefits of being in the circus is that there is a ringmaster. So this function is built in a way that I might have to look up to verify that it works the way is expected, but at least the function is built in that way.
We can look up the MSDN string.
We should move on though, because
we really should.
Yeah.
But
okay, so we're in card summons, and we've got
what's the definition? Place.
Yeah, and we start with 4 wisps on the field. I like how, I mean, you know, I'm complimenting our own plugins, which is very vain, but I like the way that start on field just works. And I you know,
the only thing we need to test is the start on field and enter field, like the sequencing of that. That's the thing that can be.
Yeah. Yeah, because I believe enter field does not trigger if something starts in field.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe some people. There's the
Neil, we gotta move on.
Nope. I must win imaginary arguments before we move on. Entirely one-sided arguments, because like I think like Bear is just like doing the good programmer thing.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Hey, I think there may be a vulnerability. I think there may be an infinite loop, right?
Barry hit us
especially
with a
because we are going
frowny
to-
face. You gotta feel a little bad about that.
No, I don't at all. Okay, all right. Okay, folks. All right, let's focus. Okay, so let's talk about tribute summons. So, Yu-Gi-Oh is a game that many of you have played that involves summoning creatures to the board and making fancy flurries, right? Where you announce what you're summoning. At least that's what the TV show taught. Right? So the link for Tribute Summon, the page for it, should be in
I
web
found
server.
it. I found it.
Okay, great. So yeah, so I'm gonna link the page for Tribute Summon. Okay.
Unfortunately, it's a
and
wiki.
again-
There's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah. Okay. So folks in chat, you know Yu-Gi-Oh better than us. It's been a while since both Isaiah and I, right? I think Isaiah is probably than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I played like the DS versions, right? That was my, and I really enjoyed them. I think. Okay, so tribute summons, right? So what the deal here is you basically need to sacrifice a number of creatures, right, in order to put a bigger creature, right? And Yu-Gi-Oh has this like one. You put a couple of low star creatures, replace them with a couple high star ones, kind of keep building up and keep building up as your like board gets strong and strong. So, Isaiah, anything to add to distribute summons in general?
Yeah, just that a tribute monster requires that you sacrifice like I mean, you know, you can see on here level 5 and 6 require 1 sacrifice, and level 7 and higher require 2 sacrifices. My understanding is that any monster can be chosen as sacrifice for tribute summoning. Some of the things we'll get into later can be more specific, but with a tribute summon,
Yes.
as long as there's a guy on the field, that guy can be sacrificed to tribute summon.
Okay. Chat, feel free. And again, we are going to be covering XYZ later. But just let us know if we've gotten the basic, and we'll show you a couple methods of how you can do it.
So let's imagine. So we've got 4 guys on the field. Let's imagine that I want to play Orc, and it requires that I select one guy on the field. It moves that guy to discard, which, you know, is Yu-Gi-Oh's graveyard, and then plays Orc in its place. That's the basics of tribute as it applies to card summons.
Yeah. And then we'll do it for higher number. So we'll try with 1 sacrifice, 2, 3. And see. So in order to make sure that Orc starts in.
Yeah, let's.
That may conflict with the mulligan, but let's check it out.
Let's start with.
Orc should be.
Let's create a new guy, called Tribute Guy.
I think Tribute Orc, maybe.
Yeah, Tribute Orc. And then let's.
And then, copy Orc, which is skill 198.
Yeah.
Right, chat has not responded, so I'm guessing we got one tribute more or less correct.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So the good news is Orc is kind of vanilla, right?
Yeah.
Its main thing is it has Rush, right? And Rush is already being checked out. Right?
Yeah, that would be in the enemies.
Yeah. Sorry, a little bit. So it's 45. Yeah. So you can see in the creature path, first turn attack is right. So that'll allow us to see this orc, right? Okay. So tribute orc. How do we go about it?
So the first thing that we'll want to do is say card passives and say require.
Oh, don't forget to start in hand because we want to be able to quickly test this.
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely correct. And we want to say require. Let's see, what's the function? It's
So the good news is you can actually check some of the ones for it, because one of the things I do is I check the field count, right? So you want to require, and assuming that it's going to be this dot field count, and then in field count you do party or ally. So and then it has to be greater than one. Where should I type this in for you?
I'm typing it in. This dot field count party greater than or equal to 1.
Yeah, it's either party or did we say party? Did we say party or friends?
Yeah, I think ally is correct here.
Yeah. I can briefly check the code.
Yeah.
We made sure that like multiple terms were used. We were noticing other plugins, right, had like multiple terms for like I think friends. But let me check.
Yeah.
Or you can check on your end if you have some summon score.
Now, field count, yeah, we want to check for ally and then creature, because we want to make sure that they have the or card type minion in this case.
Yes. Okay, so it's not friends from the looks of it. Let's check allies.
I believe it's ally, although it should be lowercase. We need to make sure that...
So we use party, enemy, troop, ally, and opponent. So off those, party or ally would work.
Yeah. I think it's not case sensitive. I think I just set it to lowercase here if it's undefined. So we should be good. And I'll real quick check to make sure that this card passive works by removing the start in field card passive for Spirit Wisp temporarily.
Yeah, so what this means is that we draw orc to hand, right? But the Spirit Wisps aren't on the field. Okay, it's gonna do the whole mulligan thing.
Yeah.
You can actually just like hit escape and
need to add tribute orc to the class.
Oh, that would be important. All right, Asila. Thank you for.
Have a nice dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, to start with, I cannot play Tribute Orc. However, if I play a Spirit Wisp, now I can play Tribute Orc. So the requirement conditions have been met. Excellent.
So now we got that creature into a cost, right?
Yes.
And the way that we can do that is we can do select one from, right? Move selected to discard, clear selection, and then move to field.
And it is select one from ally field, not field ally.
Good question. Let me check the buff card.
Yes.
Because the buff card use the... So Blood Rage. It does something crazy actually.
Oh, but we do want select one type minion from Aliasing.
Yes, because we don't want to be selecting like spell. Though I don't know, does Yu-Gi-Oh allow like no, because most of the things that you summon are just like creatures, right?
Yeah.
From my understanding, but no, like weren't there like field effects? It's been a hot minute since
Yu-Gi-Oh has traps, spells, field effects,
Yeah.
and monsters, and I believe those are the 4 things that could be on the field.
So can you use a trap as a tribute?
You cannot.
Okay. Does it have to be a face-up card for it to be a tribute?
No, it can be a face down card, but face down traps and spells go in one place, and face down creatures or monsters go in a different place. So there is no ambiguity about whether a card is a creature.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, Dai Tai in the
All right.
okay, tribute.
Tribute. And it is selected
wait.
from the enemy instead of the ally.
So let's make sure that our language is
And do say from ally field.
try party field.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing to check. Check the scope on that.
Oh
The scope
yeah.
should be the
oh
same.
yeah. Yep.
Check.
Scope
Make sure
is
that the
one
scope-
enemy.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
And this probably won't work because the scope is enemy. Yep.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that works independent of scope. Actually,
There's a lot of work.
let me write that down in a document.
Yeah. We actually have 3 different changes from the stream that we want to take note. So we want to make sure that we comment out the deck to deck that line.
Yeah.
For the next version, we want to make sure that any can work on either what's the name of the input expression? But any of the select anywhere where we can specify, right? For like select X, right? We want to be able to say any in all those cases. You have
Okay.
those 2 down?
Yep. I
And then
have
the-
all 3 of them down now.
Fantastic. Okay, this is good. We are actively improving 1.7.0 as we do this. If you want to turn off the default mode, I can show you.
Nah. Mashing escape appears to work. Okay. So yeah, now
Okay.
I can select.
That and then there's 2 levels of selection.
Oh yeah, it's because what's
because
going
you're,
on here is this scope is the user. This needs to be the user.
Yeah.
Let me also add clear selection weight 30 because I did notice something else interesting happening. Nope,
We
not
shouldn't need
continue.
to do that.
We shouldn't need to, but I want to see something.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so if I select interesting,
Oh. If it's just targeting user.
yeah.
Party field should work in that case.
I'm always hitting continue.
Yeah, that's why I wipe out the saves every.
Yeah. Let me wipe the saves there. Not the config file. I don't want to be blasted with the title music.
Yeah.
Okay, so for some reason party was not working, but ally is now working. So if I select this guy, so that's very interesting. When we move it to discard, the creature is supposed to die in the process.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, it appears that it is not.
Wait, is there a wisp behind?
Here, let me see. Game party dot field creatures. So we are getting 5 here.
Okay, so when we do the move.
Interesting.
Okay, I got a workaround for this.
Okay.
Use a very handy skill, and I've had to use this multiple times. We could use 275 on selected, and then do the move.
Okay.
On your end, right? What does this mean? So 275 is a skill called. All it does is it applies knock to a creature.
And we shouldn't need to move them to discard in that case.
Yeah, they automatically move to discard if you knock them.
Yeah.
Now, if your game does care about like knockout triggers and unit with like death, like every right, you may run into some trouble. This is the workaround method, right? Just to get this working. But I think Isaiah, just note that that's a bug.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I've written that down.
yeah. Coin flip.
There we go.
Right.
Show the orc.
Okay.
Use. Oh no, it's
you might
because
have-
I'm saying use instead of use skill.
Yeah. Because we use that for both banish and judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has mostly worked fine so far. Okay, pick one. That's hilarious. Oh my God. That is so funny.
That is not supposed to happen.
Maybe it is supposed to happen because the way that banished. So when we do use look at enemy, right, and it's not really finding. So go ahead and make
Okay, yeah, I'll make a version of banish that has scope of 1 ally.
yeah.
That's funny.
But like this was the bug that people reported in with judgment was killing the. And that's because it was not, card summon scope wasn't like distinguishing between the troop, right, and the battler and the creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I sacrificed the opponent to summon Tribute Orc.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect.
Excellent.
It's not perfect. Like it's a workaround of a work. We have done it. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is basic tribute summoning, right? Let's try monster, right? In order, and let's try it with the 1, right? Because the main thing I want to show, the requirement turns on and off, right, as the number. Now, importantly, Isaiah, this works for the player.
Yes.
And it may do dumb things with this. Because he's dumb, right? And the enemy already does dumb things. HP. So you may want to implement different behavior. A different behavior. let's show you how we do that. So let me give an example. It's a good example. Look at Chimera. It's 238. Yeah. So if you scroll down, you will see in-card actions. Yeah, you will see label start. If user's actor, I jump to label user, and that has a certain behavior. If the user is enemy, then I jump to enemy. Enemy has different behavior from the actor, and then I jump to it, right? So in this case, Chimera is a card where when you play it, you get to choose which is what keyword you want, right? You want to give it rush, you want to taunt, you want to give it, right? And then change it. So the enemy cannot see the card selection, right? They're not yet capable. So when an enemy plays Chimera, we just randomly pick one of those and add it to them, right? This is how you may want to go about in your games to do variant behavior up until the point where we're able to AI, right? A card battler AI for this. So Isaiah, for completeness, if you wanted to, you can do the enemy function, or we can just move and implement the higher trip.
I think we should move on.
Okay.
To Xyz Summon, is that right?
Do you want to show the higher tribute up? Maybe. Just show like, hey, you can scale, right? The number of creatures.
Yeah, we could say here. Where's tribute orc? Here we go. We could just say select 2 type minion and require that this is greater than or equal to 2.
Okay. I hope that'll work with our current worker.
It should.
Yeah.
The opponent has to go first, of course. Okay.
They have a default thing every single time they go first. Okay, pick 1.
There you go.
Pick 2. Okay, I am shocked that worked, but okay, so yeah, so you can scale the tree, right? However you want it. Before we jump to XYZ summons, I did want to show a variant. So when we do require and when we do the selection, we can filter for types. Can we not?
Yes. So in our require, we're checking the ally side of the field, and then we're checking for the type minion.
Yeah, this will come up later when we do synchro summons, because synchro summons require a tuner, right, as part of the in order to kind of make them. Okay, so to summarize, you have to do a bit of workaround for this, but the general way that they work is that there needs to be a card passive that is a requirement that looks for the total number of. If there aren't enough creatures, right, you cannot play them. That checks out, right? And then once you have enough creatures, you basically need to remove them from the board, right? Before the tribute creature. You're able to summon onto the field. Now, usually you would be able to do this with move selected to discard, which works, but currently doesn't actually KO the creatures. So instead, we're using another skill, right, which does the KOing for us, right? That's the only workaround, right? So when you go and implement the other side, right, it's not a magical skill number that lets you apply KO on your side. Is everyone clear? This is just the workaround that we have to do for now to get. This will be fixed as of the. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, let's give chat 2 before we go to. Is anyone in chat still awake? that may be the more pertinent question.
Yep.
Oh no, I think chat might be dead.
That's all right.
Okay, all right. Well, in that case, yeah, we can move on along to. Okay, so yes, XYZ Summon, and we again are using this definition for it. It is from what we understand, it is a form of. Right, sketching bear. It seems to be clear. Okay, Daitai is also said seems to be clear enough. Okay, next up. So XYZ Summon. So from our understanding of it, okay, Vibrant Forever is also checking it. I think the stream might be at a bit of.
I think the delay might be larger than we realize.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, go ahead and read that bit. All right, from the.
Yeah. So the XYZ Summon mechanic, essentially during their main phase, the player can XYZ Summon an XYZ monster from their extra deck by taking 2 monsters with the same level as the XYZ's rank. And
Isaiah.
Yeah.
Isaiah, before you continue, we have a very important update. Daitai has informed us that XYZ is actually
Xyz? Are you kidding me?
Yes. It
Well,
is an Xyz Summon.
I guess that's faster to pronounce. Yu-Gi-Oh was Yu-Gi-Oh was the JavaScript of card games.
For our card acceptance system. We'll call them Xyz Summons from this point. Please
All right.
continue.
Why is it? I'm sorry. This is, look, much love and respect to Yu-Gi-Oh fans, but how can you survive in this atmosphere?
It's the whole thing about like becoming a diamond, right? Like they're just constantly under pressure. Yeah, so Daitai says, yeah, that was our reaction too. But hey, let's roll with it. So yeah, so Xyz Summons, right? So we have an extra deck. We have Xyz character, like the Xyz monsters that are in the extra deck. From what I'm understanding, right?
Yes. 2 or more face-up monsters must be sacrificed. Their levels are added up, and it must be equal to the Xyz monster's rank. And the Xyz monster is played face-up in attack or defense position, placing it on top of the stacked Xyz materials. Which, and then they're attached, which has its own mechanics, I'm assuming, associated with it.
So we don't do attachments yet. That may be coming in the future, right? Like the way that like gear attaches, right, to creatures, maybe coming in the future. But we don't do card hosting in any way, shape, or form, right?
Yeah.
So we're probably going to show you a very simplified version of this Xyz Summon. So what are the main points? These creatures start off in a separate zone. We can do that, right? We can create a custom zone. We can have them start off in that. Isaiah, we want maybe like 3 different Xyz creatures, right?
Yeah.
For testing purposes. We have they need you to sacrifice 2 creatures. We've already shown that you can do. But importantly, there's a level mechanic, right? Where the levels need to add up, and that's what Xyz monsters you're able to do. So my proposal for how we go about this CDC, but this is definitely a way that we can. Is that one, we create called Extra Zone.
Yeah.
We create 3 monsters that start off in if they are part of your deck. Yu-Gi-Oh players, please right? If please let us know if the Xyz monsters count as part of your deck, or they're considered outside your, for the purpose of the deck limits. We'll roll with that. Vibrant Fervor suggests you could probably states. We considered that, but one thing that I think will work in our favor is this level mechanic, right? So a level is a variable that we are storing on a card. We already have a plugin that helps us out with. It's called Isaiah.
Block generate.
You can do block. Don't do block. Why would you do block?
I'm so sorry for everything I've done.
Yeah. So Sketching Bear says they're supposed to be in the side deck. For our purposes, we don't want to be. So we'll include them in our at the startup out. Is that okay?
Yeah, so do we want them to just be played from the hand, or do we want to set up the XYZ the Xyz zone?
So we want to. So I think we want to set up the extra deck, right? Like so we have the extra deck. These monsters start, right? And then we may want to use a button to initiate that summon.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not in your hand, right?
Yeah. Let me.
Oh, and then lastly, we want to give like the right. We want to give them IC, right? To set their level, right?
Yes, ICV was the answer you were going for, of course.
Which you hopefully should have in your plugin manager list, right?
I do not. Give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
So, if you don't want to use ICVs, we could use like that may be easier to access, like luck or something, right?
Yeah.
Something that we're not. Yeah. So Vibrant Fervor says they're in the extra deck along with and like. We're gonna get to Synchro. I think that's the last tribute summon that we'll show within our system.
Accidentally put it inside the blank project instead of inside this project. Whoops.
Yeah. So, do you want to go with the ICV method, or do you want the?
I think using a creature's luck is maybe more is easier to edit, I think. So
I think so too.
The Spirit Wisp is like quote unquote level 3.
Sure. We'll be sacrificing 2 of them.
Okay. First, let me set up the stuff so that we can actually access the extra deck.
Okay.
So if I were to just go in right now, yeah, it's in the top left corner because I did not set its coordinates.
Yeah. And then for the coordinate, you want the Y value of.
Yeah, I did not set the parameter correctly.
Yeah. Now, importantly, I don't think I changed those values.
No, I did set it.
Yeah. It's not in the UI order?
It's not scrolling over. Even though it's in the UI
so
order.
I think yeah, so I think move it over like a little bit closer.
Yeah, let's put it before deck, and then let's set its coordinates. Make sure I didn't spell it weirdly. Yeah. Let me just real quick. Let's say 48, and then what's the
You want me to read?
yeah, what are the
Let me give
dex
you the
coordinates?
coordinates.
68, 512.
Yeah. So you want 3 6 and you, that should hopefully appear directly above the dex zone.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
Excellent.
Now try adding it to the UI order like where it's to be.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's because this the setup event is changing the UI order.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so go ahead and edit that. So in order to get card summons to work alongside regular CGC battles and for you to move back and forth between, just check the setup events, the map.
Yeah.
They change it so that it works within the new system, right? Otherwise, the other previous maps in the demo project. Okay, perfect. Right. Okay, so we have an extra deck set up. We have so we want 3, right, of different levels. So we want an Exceed creature level 6 and level 8. You'll see immediately why I've chosen right,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so now that we have them out there, we need a button to initiate an Exceed summon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exceed button, and then image sheet. Let's see.
And then let me same coordinates as the item button because I out for the purpose of summon.
Okay.
So it'll be in like a right place. So the coordinates 60.
$64, $640.
Yeah, and then for now you can just use the spreadsheet, or if you want, I can like very badly edit.
Yeah, I'm just using
together.
I'm just using the image sheet for now. And then for skill ID, we want to make a new skill, which skills we'll put right above fishing, and that's Exceed Summon, and that's 283. Let me add a to do.
To do to do the skill drop down instead of
Yeah. Well, the stream just fully cut out for a second there.
Okay. Chat, let us know if we're back.
I think it was just for 1 second.
Yeah, Vibrant Fervor has a great idea.
Ooh.
The button could appear when you meet a summon from extra deck. I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Yeah, let's incorporate that. But yeah, so the button skill. Yeah, so we want to select. So I think here's a question: do we want the button skill to do the sacrificing, and then you and then like you do the tribute, and then you pick the creature, or is it you pick the creature, and then based on the creature you have to make Okay, Vibrant Fervor, Sketching Bear, and Dai have confirmed that the stream is still running.
Okay, perfect.
So I think this is a question for Yu-Gi-Oh folks in the audience. What is the order of operations to do? Do you choose the summon, then do the tribute? Then based on the tributes, you pick summon is valid.
Yeah,
my guess is, and
go ahead.
is you have to pick the creature that dictates what the tributes are.
Yeah. The selected card, essentially, yeah, we select an Exceed creature, and then based on that creature's selection, we select guys on the field.
Okay, Vibrant Fervor says second option. So tributes first, then meet the valid ones. I just want Vibrant. Can you confirm? Is it pick your monster first, then tributes? Yeah. Okay, so it's monster then tributes. Yeah, you were right. It's monster then tributes. Okay, that makes our life a lot easier. Okay, so we want to select one from the extra zone, and then I guess based on the one to move it to the so how do we evaluate for that within a card action?
So if we look at, let me quickly go to Orc, the Tribute Orc, because Tribute Orc has card actions where we select 2 minion types, and
that is part of their summoning.
Yeah. Now, my instinct is to say, essentially, we could have a play selected, that then goes through all of the card actions that the selected card has.
Isaiah, can we do select any from party field?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that in card summons, select any is... No, it looks like we've got select X and select all, but not select any on the field.
Okay, I think another thing to add to our list then.
Yes.
So lacking that, here's my suggestion for the workaround. Again, this wasn't going to be exactly Yu-Gi-Oh! So I think that what the button does is it puts the card from the extra zone in, and then you're still required to meet the requirements to summon.
Okay.
Right. Right. So similar to our Xyz summons have requirements, right? And essentially, if you're not able to meet, right, you cannot play. You cannot, and maybe you can clean them up, right?
Yeah, I can do something like, oh, we don't have a at end of turn move this to a zone, but we can say discard if unplayed.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, remove. We just put it back in the extra deck.
Yeah.
Can't we do end of turn?
We can do end of turn skill X.
And then the skill X is move this to extra.
Okay.
Yeah.
XYZ unsummon. And that's the end of turn skill.
So Isaiah, one recommendation. So we are making a lot of in like a lot of different places. My suggestion is that we should of the thing so that it's just easy for some. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll move Xyz Summon there.
Yeah, we'll probably have to change the skill ID on the button.
Yeah. And then... Sorry, exceed, not XYZ.
Yep. It's easier to say.
Select all type exceed from hand move selected to exceed.
Yep. And then clear selection.
And then end of turn skill 321. And that should do it. Core engine.
Okay, so that's that.
Yeah, we want to go to the button, make sure that it's using skill 320. This is the zone, not the button. I have not eaten lunch yet.
You should have eaten lunch.
I woke up when we started the stream.
That's fair. I mean, here's the thing: if only we could do it later in the day. But the problem is we lose Asilla, right?
Yeah.
Time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though next stream we'll probably feature. So my thought is that maybe we have it more as opposed to what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Okay.
the scope.
Turn happens, and then yeah, we gotta fix the scope.
Every time with the scope. Speaking of which, let's get this to be the user as well.
Yeah, just make sure that it's also for user.
Fiverr Forever says, usually the extra summon button only shows the monsters you meet the conditions. Both will show up, the other ones fade away. I think, so one thing that CGC needs at some point is the ability to filter selection more easily.
Yep. Yeah. I was literally talking to you about this.
So the good news is this button does work. It allows us to select a card and move it. And if we end our turn, then these two should, at the end of the turn, no, they are not.
Oh.
Interesting.
Did you change the syntax?
End of turn to skill 321, and then the scope is the user.
Mm-hmm. Instead of a selection action, can you not do? Would that not work?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Just move this to exceed.
Should be move all type. Do we support that currently? We need to. Another to do. Oh no, wait, this is core engine, not card types. Silly me.
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't. I'll say move 99 from type to type.
We have done type to type though. It's in card action pack 2.
Action Pack 2. I'm saying move 99, type XYZ from hand to XYZ.
Sure. Is there a reason why you're not doing move this?
Because this is not the orc. It's the skill that the orc is calling at the end of turn.
Okay, so this isn't implicit to the card that is initiating the.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so let's call the orc into our hand and then end the turn. Okay, so that's very interesting.
Okay. Instead, what we could do is we can do remove if on play.
Yeah.
And then we just re-add those cards to the extra deck each turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We want to, yeah. Let's, now we want let's get the summon functionality.
I think we're getting a little bit caught up in the cleanup function.
Yeah.
I think let's summon working first, and then we can work on the cleanup.
Yeah.
Um,
Tribute Orc has these card actions, and also this require.
Yeah. So, well, we want to edit the require.
Yeah. I just want to use this as a template.
Yeah. And then once we have this, we're gonna right, because we essentially want the equivalent level, right, of the sum of the two.
Yes. Yeah, we want so if the orc is level 6, then we want 3 level creatures. How could we, is there a way that and I'm willing for the answer to this to be no, and I understand if maybe viewers are less willing. Is there a way that we can make it so that we're not just looking for something with a level 3, we're not just looking for 2 things with level 3, we can also support something level 2 and something level 4 combined?
I actually, from my understanding, and again, chat, feel free to, it is the sum, right? So it can be 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, right?
Yeah.
Or 2 plus 2 is equal, right? Or 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. But again, chat, let us know if does it have to be 2 of the same level that the Exceed monster comes in with, or just of the levels that need to add up?
So let's make a new plugin here.
Yeah.
So let's say,
Do you want to add an enemy levels as a plugin?
well, let's so here's what I'm thinking. So we're selecting 2 type minions, and then we want to say eval essentially like get combined levels. And if combined levels is exactly equal to 6, then we do these things. Otherwise, we move this back to the XYZ zone. Sorry, the Exceed zone. So I want to real quick look at what
that Exceed is should be same levels.
Okay.
So it has to be 2 and 2, right, or 3 and 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That does simplify things for us. From Synchro should be sum of level. Okay. Excellent. So from here, we might want to say, so we've got the, let's see, where's the selected cards? That's a function that we can reference. Should just be selected cards. So we might want to do an eval where we say, for our selected cards, and I'll erase this for now. Selected cards equals and then var success equals let's say it equals true, and for var I equals selected cards, we'll want to say I'll also say var target level equals 3. Which I think creature is a function. Should be. Hold on. Yeah, it's a field creature. That's what we're looking for. I should make that a function. If
Isaiah, I'm pretty sure that is a function. Because you wrote those getters, remember?
yeah, there is no, well, I could say dot field creature. But I want the field creature of the specific card, which is not stored in a function. It's just in a variable.
If not that, then what is this? It's on line 1986.
That's the
It's returning the field creature off that's tied to the card, right?
Yeah, but that's the game battler's function. Whereas we have a list of cards rather than a list of battlers.
I mean, go on ahead, but like I am very sure we've implemented.
And then we might want to say game switches dot set value, I don't know, 100 success. And what this code is doing is it's saying, hey, do all of our selected cards have a luck stat of 3? If so, this is successful. If not, it's unsuccessful. Now we might want to, define a card action to do this, and I think that would be fine for now. At least I'm just gonna make this one massive eval. Which I don't love, but
another potential point. Instead of doing the luck stat, I mean, we've shown them how to process node tags.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just have a node tag for level?
Okay.
I think it'll be cleaner than like just tying it to an arb. and it's not that hard to.
Okay. In that case, yeah, let's go ahead and while we're here, let's turn this into a card action.
Yeah, I think that'll be more in line with what we covered this set.
Okay. So let's say data manager dot process note tags. No, hold on. Data manager dot is database loaded. That's the function. We'll want to say
And part of this is because levels are going to come up again.
yeah, for sure. And then we'll want for n equals 1, n is less than group dot length n plus plus. And I'm not speaking during this section in part because I am prone to typos, and also because this is a very standard way of setting up note tag stuff. Mostly it's the typo thing.
Yeah. Okay, now let me fill the air with let's talk about so with the time that we have, we're probably gonna summon and Synchro Summon. We might call it there. There are still a couple suggestions that folks had that would be really cover. One of which is Happy Puke's kicker. Kicker is something that we also want to show Trample. And then we also want to show Frog's request, which are quests and side quests. So if you don't have the time to, probably a month, right? My hope is that we can kind of turn this into sort of community gives us like, hey, or in CGC, and we find out whether or not on stream. And at best, we are able to the thing that you mentioned, and at worst, we know. So yeah, if you all for future months, we will open up the suggestion box before the week before the stream, so that yeah, we can show how to do all of these different. The hope is that as we continue to develop here in right, it'll require less and less, and more of it will sort of be carried by the rest of the. But the good news is that CGC from a year ago could not do this, right? Like at least not easy. It was kind of laborious to add. And now you are able. So from here, we may be able to do next year. You are able to pretty easily add. How do we do like different, right? One thing that I think many of you be looking forward to, hopefully, is our timing structure. So those of you that want to implement such as Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, right? Duel monsters, right? We'll be able to implement timing within. So things like having like the main phase, dedicated combat phase. Those are things that we hope that you will be able to do, right? With this going forward. So yeah, I guess if you have other suggestions, and if you don't, we'll go through the backlog. But the hope is that you can.
Oh, but it's taking much longer to reconnect. Okay, there we go. Oh, but it's taking much longer to reconnect. Okay, there we go. Okay, so in Data Manager Process Summon level note tags, we've created a system where if you have a note tag that says summon level X, it adds that to a variable. This can also be formatted as summon level X. The space and the colon are both optional. That's what these little question marks mean inside the regular expression. Then what we do in perform card action is we have a card action called if selected R level X. If selected R level X. And so it goes through and it checks to make sure we don't want creature.luck, we want creature.summon level. Actually, the field creature might be the game creature, not. I'll have to test that. I'll have to check that. But at least in theory, what's going on is it's saying, hey, if selected are level X, then it executes the next card action just like the if action. So it's just an if card action. Where you don't have to write your own code. All of the code is pre-written, so you can just reuse this. Checks to make sure that everything is the specific target level. If it is, it proceeds. If not, it skips the card action. That's what's happening in here. Soon, though, unfortunately. Okay, we should be back.
Yeah.
We're dropping frames, so I'll wait until the connection is fully stable. Okay.
Isaiah, are you back with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. All right. So, Sketching Bear says, Codex. Do you want to maybe briefly go over that?
Yeah.
Very, very briefly. We will have these as annotated plugins, right? For
I'm so fucking silly. I'm so silly without swears.
It's okay. I think we're sort of maxing stream time, so we'll call it after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me make sure that this is. Yeah, the syntax that you want is. There we go. So let me just make sure that this doesn't, that this actually does boot up. Okay, so here's fundamentally what this code is doing. So we are adding a note tag to enemies that says if you have the summon level X tag, the space and the colon are both optional. That's what this little question mark is doing. But if you have this, then it gives the summon level variable to that enemy. Then we create a new card action called if selected are level X. And it's going through all of the selected cards in the selection window and it's checking if their level is equal to the X in this. And this card action works just like the if card action inside Core Engine, where if it's not true, then we skip the next card action. So this is basically just an if eval, but we do all of the evaluation in the right. OBS is really going in and out now. I'm really not sure what to do, but my patience for it is going down.
Yeah. That's understandable. Could we sort of temporarily shut off, right? Wait for it to stabilize and then come back, or maybe like the last 15 minutes to show the implementation, and then it will be out.
Yeah,
How does that sound?
the problem is I don't know if it's going to stabilize.
Okay. Do you want to stop the stream now then?
I don't know. I'm frustrated in part because I haven't eaten yet.
Okay. So let's take a note that let's make sure you eat before. I think that'll help. Okay. How about this? Let's do a to be continued.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think. Yeah, Isaiah needs to eat. So, and also we may need to take a look at this. So at least we've established that basic tribute summons can be done, right? But kind of more complex things, we need a bit more. So before we.
All right.
Okay.